Hello and welcome to what is the date today, February 19th? Rotary Thursday Club. We ask you to join us today. Our pledge will be by Lisa. Sorry, I'm scared. Please join me. I will pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way chest of the things we say, or do. First, is it the truth? Two, is it fair to all concerned? Three, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Four, will it be beneficial to all concerned? Pretty good considering we didn't have teaching up there. Sorry about that. Right. Oh, well, you got through it. Okay, our inspiration today is by Lutz. Come on up.
I've just got a brief piece from David Foster Wallace, who some of you, I'm sure, are familiar with as an author. This is from in 2008, so just to put it in some sort of context. He says, look, man, we probably most of us agree that these are dark times and stupid ones. But do we need fiction that does nothing but dramatize how dark and stupid everything is? In dark times, the definition of good art would seem to be art that locates and applies CPR to those elements of what's human and magical that still live and glow despite the times. Really good fiction should have as dark a worldview as it wished, but it would find a way both to depict this world and to illuminate the possibilities for being alive and human in it.
It's funny how that is. All right, thank you. We have our greeter Pat, who's still wandering around looking for people to buy cards. So she's got quite a few cards left. If you've got some dollars in your pocket and you want to give to buy a card, that money comes back around to you at the end of the meeting. We have winners and they get half the pack. And we all know there's 52 cards, so that's 26 that goes to you, 26 that goes to the club. So it's a great way to get a little bit extra money. So we do have a few guests today. I'm going to be first introduce my guest who just snuck in the back door, and that is Michelle Gallus. If you please stand and say hi. She is a teacher. You'll remember most of us know her and have known her for many long years. So we're really finally getting her to join. I saw Tony and Kelly wanted. Yes, and so we're very excited to get some Rotarians to join us. And I'm going to also, yes, I saw.
Here today.
Yes. Yay, it's wonderful to see you, Sue. Wonderful. And then I have Janie, who has a guest who.
This is Tammy McKay, who is it's up there. It's up there. Interesting, right? So I'm gonna try and get her to come back and do a program for us.
Yeah, no, that's great. And we welcome you. I also want to just say we have this. What's happening? We do have kind of a fun little thing, which is this is our little friend. He's our mascot, and you collect Elf on the Shelf. We'll be hiding him in future meetings. But the whole point, it's part of it. The district is supporting us in terms of trying to get new members and have people join. So if they come to any Rotary, whether it's our Rotary, Wednesday Rotary, IB Rotary, whatever, they can come and visit. And there's a place to go online, and I'll give you the site. I just got this yesterday. So you go to the site and you put in if you went to one of the Rotary events. It can be an event, it can be a meeting, it can be whatever you want to do, and you're just trying to see what Rotary is in your community. Then you can register for prizes. And so there's a bunch of prizes. They have over $1,000 worth of prizes they're going to be giving out throughout the district. And this is our little friend. You know, this is actually, what's his name?
That's Yoda.
Yoda.
And Yoda is Greg Rowe's dog.
If you remember Greg Rowe, he is phenomenal. He worked at the Boys and Girls Club, and he's just an amazing person. And funny, he moved up to be closer to his parents up in Albany, and they snatched him, and now he's the president of that club up there this year. So I've been able to see him at meetings, which is kind of fun. But this is his dog, and this is our mascot, Yoda. So if you get your picture taken with Yoda, you also have an extra chance to win more prizes, and then you can flash it out. They're trying to just flash it out on social media and say, hey, try a Rotary Club near you. Join people who like to get things done. So that's kind of going through April. Starts February, March, and April. So at the end of April, they'll do some drawings and give out some prizes. But the whole idea is try to increase our knowledge of what Rotary does in our community. And they're going to pay for some ads on TV. Tell me what KOBI. But anyway, so they will be doing that. And I will talk to Allison, who is our public person, to blast it out through social media. So anyway, so that's coming up. Other than that, board meeting is this Wednesday, and there are some of you who are climbing the ladder to try to become blue badge members. So if you're currently a red badge member, and one of the things on your checklist is to go to a board meeting, we will be holding a board meeting next Wednesday at 5:30, and it's Zoom meeting. So you just need to let me know, because I send out the Zoom meeting, and if you tell me about it, I'll put your name in and you will join us. But if you don't tell me, then I don't know. So make sure you talk to me so I know that you want to be on that Zoom meeting, which is next Wednesday night. Once again, food bank. This is funny. I'm going to ask somebody to go out to the back of my car. My trunk is wide open back there, unless somebody saw it, because I had food back there, but I couldn't carry it in when I came in. So my red car is in the middle of the other ones. It has some food to bring in for kids. So we're gathering food. If you go to the grocery store, think about kids, think about things that we might be able to stuff in their backpack, because spring break is coming up, and that's one thing that our Rotaries do is we stuff food in back and send it home with the kids before spring break. So please start, if you've kind of gotten out of the habit, get back into the habit of bringing food for kids. I did also order some t-shirts last week. They say Rotarians at Work, in their bright green safety colors, and I'm hoping that we can use those as we get out in the public to show that we really do good things out there as well. Porch Fest fundraising is moving forward. A lot happened behind the scenes. Daniela, who I also saw just sneak in, yes, is going to pass around a volunteer list, because one of the things we need to do is walk down 4th Street and talk to all the people. We have to have a certain percentage of them that agree to block off the street. And so this is something we do every year, and it's kind of nice to have 2 people go together. The first one, I'll be gone. I'm leaving right after this meeting, but Daniela is going to organize one this Saturday at 1 o'clock. So she'll send out, I have a clipboard, Daniela, if you need one, send out to have people think about signing up. So this Saturday at 1 o'clock, and then on March 10th, and I did send a email about this, which is a Tuesday night. We're going to try for a weekday night. It's going to catch them strange times. And then on Sunday, March 15th at 4. But that did go out in a email today. So just be thinking of when you can volunteer to help us go around, knock on doors and say, hey, Porch Fest is coming up in June. We need your permission to close down the street. Yeah. So I haven't, yes. Do you want to add something, Tommy?
I want to add a visitor in the thing up there. This thing. There's Deb Harpster. She's one of men, wonderful people who had recent knee surgery, and he's doing well, and I'm glad to see you.
It's wonderful to see you, Deb. So welcome to our club. So see, Zoom. You can do it by Zoom. Okay, so I talked already about Tri-Rotary, so now anybody else has announcements can come on.
Okay, so I wanted to show you guys the beautiful Walk for Peace banner that was made for us and donated by Logan Design. And as a reminder, this is happening on Sunday, March 1st at Reinhardt Volunteer Park. In the back of the park at the Harry and David Shelter. Let me know if you have any questions about where that is. So I have been completely blown away by the number of people who have reached out to me and us saying, this is the best idea. We want to be involved. How can we help? Can we make a donation? So just a quick rundown. Again, that banner donated by Logan Design. These beautiful little glass hearts. She is going to try and make 200 of these and donate for us to hand out to the people walking through the park. Greg Smith generously donated the money for us to buy 200 of these beautiful peace pins with tie-dye coloring. We're going to hand these out to the walkers in the park that day. We have these bracelets, 200 of them donated by Aquarius Books that we'll be handing out to our walkers. We have fresh fruit to hand out that day, courtesy of Cartwright's Market and Grocery Outlet. Flowers, Trader Joe's donated $50 worth of flowers. We're still looking for more donations. Patrice is working on that, but if you know somebody, let us know. We just want to hand people a flower while they're walking around. Coffee and tea. Greg and Patrice are going to be serving hot coffee and hot tea. Keep people warm that day. Peace flags and rock decorating, courtesy of Tommy Drake and Lisa Kramer. They've got these peace flags, rocks. They're going to have the art supplies so you can make those and hang it up or take it home, or even take your rock and place it somewhere in the park for somebody else to find. We'll spread the love that way. And we're going to have our Rotary Station manned by Kelly and Mary and Jean, and they're going to share information about Rotary and Rotary's peace building efforts. And we're going to even try and raise a little bit of money for the Rotary Peace Fellowship. Again, I've been completely overwhelmed with the generosity of everybody involved in this. I can't thank you enough. I hope to see you all there. Please continue inviting your friends, your neighbors. If you need flyers, let me know. Yes.
What time?
It starts at 10 and it ends at 4. You can come anytime. You can stay for 20 minutes or 2 hours, as long as you feel moved to walk around the park or sit down and visit with some other peaceful people. If you have any other questions, just see me after the meeting. Thank you so much.
That's wonderful. And it is, February is Peace Month, so we're just kind of sneaking it in at the end, because it was a date that works. So thank you, Jeannie, for all of the work. And I did order a peace pole, but unfortunately, Brenda, we're having a hard time finding the Takelma language that says, "May peace prevail on earth." And so I've been working on it. I've been playing a lot of telephone tag. So we need to make the decision whether you move on to a different, like do Japan as the 4th, or whether we want to keep pursuing that. So that's kind of where we are with that. I don't think it will be here by March 1st, but I will hopefully get a picture of a peace pole. There is one at the Boys and Girls Club. So it's a little bit larger than ours will be, but there's a wonderful one at the Boys and Girls Club we could get a great picture of. So that people know that there is a peace pole that was from our district conference that was donated. So that's really great. Okay, without further ado, and I apologize that I didn't introduce all these wonderful guests sitting over there, but it is Service About Self, and we have our student from North Valley today, and so I'm going to let Lisa Lumen do the introductions.
All right, thank you. Well, today it is my pleasure to introduce our Student Service Above Self Award winner for February from North Valley. Excuse me. And her principal and her parents are over there too, Mom and Dad. And so I'll have her principal introduce her.
Thank you so much. My name is Lindsay Manny. I'm the principal at North Valley High School. And I wanted to firstly say thank you to all of you and the work you do for our community and our youth. As a student myself, I went to Camp Ryla in high school and loved it. It was super fun. Great food as well, just like today. So thank you. And today we get to honor Lily-Ann Klump, our Student Service Above Self Award recipient. And Lily, will you just stand up so we can give you a round of applause? And Lily truly embodies our core values at North Valley of respect, responsibility, and resilience. And service. She has a demeanor about her where she is selfless, right? And that's been consistent since middle school, actually. She received this award in 8th grade as well. So we can see a pattern here that she is truly service oriented. She is ASB president. Last year was ASB vice president. Has been drum major for 2 years at North Valley. Continually participates in community and volunteering efforts as well. And she's not doing that for the sake of doing that. It's because she actually really cares about her community and her peers. So we are so proud to have her as a North Valley student. I will let her share more about her future goals because they're pretty dang exciting. So without further ado, Lily, come on up.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lily. I want to start out by saying thank you for this award. It means more than you know. And when I found out I got this a month ago, I was doing a lot of reflecting on 4 years ago when I got it as an 8th grader. And it's just so crazy how much has not only changed in my life, but has stayed the same. That being through leadership and service. I've been in leadership since 6th grade. If you want to count 5th grade, I also was in leadership then too. But ever since 5th or 6th grade, I've been in leadership and doing all the leadership things. And so it's been the biggest thing and it's helped me so much in my life. So it's just amazing to be honored for all the things that I worked so hard and love doing. So start out, I guess I kind of led with all that first, but I was born here. We had a military family, so I moved around a lot, lived in Japan, all over the place. But I really got into service, I think. I mean, I don't know. It started when I was in 3rd grade and I would ask my teachers to organize their libraries just for fun. So I don't know. I've always just been a helper. But I love helping others, and I've loved getting to just be connected and connecting with so many people, not only in my school, but outside of school. On top of leadership, I was elected to be the Oregon Association of Student Council Southern Representative. So I worked on a state level in leadership, and that was just another level of connecting and getting to work with others and, make a change that I can. But through that, I got to host like mental health workshops and talk about mental health and just preach things like that I really, really believe in and I think need to be talked about more, which was amazing. And I met a lot of great people. My favorite subject is leadership. It's not technically a subject, but I count it. So I just love leadership and everything about it. I don't do band anymore, but when I was a drum major, it was just another amazing opportunity that I never, I branched out and I did that. So I got to experience music and leading a band and a whole bunch of people of all different kinds. I played the clarinet for 6 years. Yeah, I learned all the conducting things. That was another cool change that I never thought I would do. Conducting. And then for after high school, I hope to end up being a lawyer. I got accepted to Willamette and the University of Hawaii. Those are my top choices right now. But I have not decided yet. So yeah, I got accepted for political science in both colleges. So yeah, I'm gonna work towards being a lawyer, and I hope to just keep being involved in student government in college and leading in any way that I can. Yeah, thank you guys again, and I'm very honored to get this award.
Sounds like you're on a great path, and we thank you for that. So we do honor you, and we also like to honor the parents, because we know they're part of the whole process. So thank you very much. Mayor Luce is here to present our.
Check for $805.
Yes, bicycle. Stay safe.
They, gift cards, gift certificates, and general good stuff.
So yes, we do honor. And thank you for all that you do and all that you will do in the future, because we know you're headed right down that path, and that's great. So thank you. Okay. And with that, I'm gonna have Lutz come up, because Lutz is part of our program today. So he has a story to tell, and that story is important for all of us. So he is specifically asked to make sure, and it looks like we've got a good group here to follow along and listen to what Lutz and Lisa have to say.
Mainly what Bruce has to say
Yeah.
is gonna be the important stuff.
So if she
Easy part of this program, because all I had to do was come home for lunch, take my lunch down the hallway, and then drop like a bad weed. The next thing that I remember, after the heart attack was about a week later of, some discussion, at Three Rivers before they moved me to the Medford for the transplant. But it's really fascinating to me what happens to memory. The day that I had the attack, I had apparently gone to the college and taught my class, did the opening lecture for the term, did an assignment with them, and took roll, all of that kind of stuff. And I remember absolutely nothing of it. It's amazing to go into my briefcase and find all of this material that happened that day. One of the psychologists in Medford said it's not very uncommon to have a traumatic experience happen, and it never moves from short-term memory into your long-term memory. So I'm sure, in fact, I know that there were times, because people have told me about it, while I was in Grants Pass, that I had discussions with my family, had discussions with my physicians. In fact, apparently, I asked one of my physicians if I could please get a cold beer. And he said, "You can't have a beer, this is a hospital." I said, "You don't understand, I'm German." So, this is all hearsay. I can picture that kind of thing. I'm happy. The important thing that the reason that I asked Bruce originally if he would do this program, and then Lisa and I kind of came in at the last, because we thought, well, here's a good example of what can happen with the POLST and with advanced directives. And we, by the way, do have some copies of both of them here, if any of you would like one after the presentation. But basically, when I finally got to the point of thinking about it, I felt really kind of embarrassed that after all the time that I had spent talking about death and dying in my classes, talking about the importance of advanced directives, etc., when I was on the ethics committee at the hospital, I felt embarrassed that I hadn't been better prepared. And Lisa will pick up on this as well. So she was the one that had to basically deal with much of that. A lot of time while I'm lying there in the hospital bed. Luckily, the Dodgers were winning. But reflecting on what all of this meant. And a couple of quotes come to mind. One is from Marcus Aurelius, and he talks about, in Latin, it's memento mori. Remember, we all die. And so reflection on death during the time that I was lying there, it's the philosopher in me. The irreverent part of me came out thinking about Woody Allen, who said, "I'm not afraid of dying. I just don't want to be there when it happens." So, that there's those of you who know me well enough know that that irreverent side of me pops up quite often in serious situations. Because, I really believe that life is grim, but not necessarily serious. So it's important to keep that perspective. Lisa, moving on.
I don't know if I can do this. First of all, I can speak in front of kids all day long. I can sing and dance in front of kids, but in front of my peers, I just lose it. And then also a sensitive topic like this, which is still pretty raw. Yes, on that particular day, life is grim and life did get serious. And we weren't really prepared. We thought we were prepared. We have our advanced directives that we did in 2015, and that got filed away in a file. And I couldn't even find them. I couldn't even find the advanced directive that morning when it went down. And yet it was right there. It was right there, right in front, but I couldn't see it. We can never be prepared for something like this. We think that it's not going to happen to us, and we hope that it won't happen to us. And we've had discussions over the last since we did the advanced directive. Maybe something will come up in the media or a friend got hurt, and then we would discuss, yeah, no, I don't want that, or yeah, I don't want that either, or I do want that. And in that moment when he needed my help, I couldn't speak. You have to kind of rely on our POLST. You have to rely on the advanced directive, and I couldn't. I just, when the paramedics asked, do you have a POLST? It's like, no, we don't. And I had to make a decision in that moment because it's life or death. And I didn't have time to think about what were our discussions, what were his wishes. I didn't have time to go back in my memory. I think he said, and I had to make a decision within moments, and it was, yes, do whatever you have to do. And I don't regret that, but I think when Bruce gets up here and talks about the advanced directives and the POLST, I see the importance of being prepared, even though you cannot be prepared for every scenario. Our advanced directive, when I did find it a couple days later, it's so funny, it's so vague. It says, in every scenario, Lutz referenced, Lisa can make the decision for me if I'm unable. In every scenario. And honestly, I was relieved that I did the right thing. I made the decision, even though I wasn't sure that was what he wanted. But I was like, okay, I'm in compliance. Even though still days later, the kids and we were very unsure. Was this the right decision? Because he was fighting for his life. And we didn't know, is this really what Lutz would have wanted? We questioned our decision. So if I can give any advice, don't poo-poo this. We're all at that age now where something can happen to us, and it's important that our families know what we want, that we're clear. Like, we are revisiting our advanced directive now, because really, truly, I was like, damn you, Lutz, damn you, why couldn't you be a little bit more specific to give me help? When your emotions are running wild, you just can't remember everything. And, we do the best we can and hope that we're making the right decisions. Having a pulse would have, assisting the paramedics would have just made things a lot less frantic. And perhaps, during the critical 36 hours, maybe I wouldn't have been feeling so much anxiety over whether or not I did the right thing. It puts a lot of decision making on the other person, and it's not a fun place to be. That's where life got really serious. And anyway,
You did really good.
yeah, you followed it. And anyway, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I do want to say though that there was a lot of positives that came out of this. All of your support, your prayers, it was amazing, like the love that kept us all going. And the care that we received at both hospitals. Asante was here, Three Rivers. I mean, they were both great, don't get me wrong, but the care that he received here at Three Rivers, I kept saying, I want to go to Medford, send him to Medford, get him to Medford. And once we got to Medford was great. I am seriously not saying anything negative at all, but once we got to Medford, I was like, I want to go back to Grants Pass. Just not only were they caring for Lutz, but they were caring for us, and they made it really clear that we are also, the family was also their patient, and the skill level, everything was just incredible. And so many of Lutz's nurses and healthcare professionals, they were his students. And they'd say, oh, I know him. Wait, I had his class. One nurse came in and said, I swear I know him. And I said, well, he's a professor at RCC. And she said, oh, Professor Kramer? She goes, oh my God, he changed my life. Yeah, during a time that was really hard for her. And she just went on and on. She still had the book. She even kissed him on the head when she left. I said, okay. Anyway, the community outpour of support was more than I ever expected. And I've been wanting to leave this area for a really long time, and I realized how this is our home, these are our people, this is our community. And you guys really held us up, like when I couldn't see straight. Bruce, Dr. Bruce, he was my rock star. Gave me a 911 hotline to his cell phone and said, call me anytime you have any questions. And I cannot thank you enough for hours of processing and calming my nerves. So thank you so much. Yeah, Lutz fought the Reaper. And he came out on the other side with a new perspective of life. And anyway, I don't know what more to say, but don't be like me and Lutz, who think it's not going to happen and kind of poo-poo, the POLST and the advanced directive. It's super important for yourself and for your loved ones. So thank you, Bruce, for taking time out of your day to educate us on this. So I'm going to hand it over to Bruce.
Have a pretty good.
Oh. Hi there. We're not going to talk about fishing or the Planet Authority. This is the last presentation I have planned that I know of. Anyway, I am really honored to be here. These are amazing people that just want to take an extremely painful event and have all of us learn a little bit, and I learned along with them. So I certainly did not have all the answers, but I was so honored that they reached out to me. Lutz and I served on the ethics committee since the 1990s, initially at both hospitals, Southern Oregon and Josephine. And I've been involved in bioethics for all of my 49 years of my career, and started to found the bioethics committee at those two hospitals back in 1992. Lutz was on the committee with me for more than 15 years, and we faced many end-of-life decisions. So it was somewhat ironic that I was called to help out when Lisa had some questions, and it was my old buddy Lutz, because we had dealt with many end-of-life scenarios, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't happen to you. So next slide, please. So I've had my own, oh darn, I'm sorry that isn't so. It says a brush with death.
Oh.
And I've had my own brush with death. Thank you very much. And more serious than this, but I thought if we can introduce just a little bit of levity, because I had one more funny cartoon, I hope, at the end. Next. Well, what I want to do is talk about why are we discussing this sad subject? Well, I don't need to explain that now after what Lisa and Lutz said. You don't know when your life will change, and it could change forever in 5 minutes from now. Think about that when you're thinking about the future. You have planning abilities now cognitively you may not have in the future. This is the time to let people know if you cannot speak for yourself or if you do not even recognize your family, what should they do for you in terms of future planning? Your loved ones deserve and need a healthcare plan for the future. So everybody here, and most of us are over 50, I would say. We've got some new people that aren't. Of the 50 so people that I see here, how many of you have a will? Not a living will, just a will. Keep your hands up, keep your hands up, keep your hands up. A will. Okay, of those who have a will, who has an advance directive now? Few more than have a will. Okay, keep your hands up, keep your hands up. I'm not done with you. Keep your hands up. Put your hands down if you have not addressed that advance directive in 10 years. Put your hands down if you have not discussed this with your healthcare representative in the last 5 years. Oh, good. I have something to say to you. This is wonderful. Okay, they need to know, and it needs to be updated. Those are some take-home messages. So what's a POLST? Somebody tell me what it means. POLST. It was physician orders for life-sustaining treatment. It now, as of 3 years ago, 2023, when this was last updated, is now portable orders for life-sustaining treatment, because they wanted to include more providers. That's also a P word. Why didn't they make it providers? But anyway, it now covers nurse practitioners, DOs, NPs, PAs. They can all fill these out. Even a naturopath, which is not in all 50 states, but it is in Oregon, they can fill these out. It is an order for when an emergency happens at the time. It's a way of limiting what could be done by the paramedics at a time of a near death or death event. It is this pink form. It used to be hot pink all over. Now it's just on the border. The newest ones came out in 2023. They do not outdate, but they should be updated periodically. And the only thing I'll ever disagree with Lisa about is that she should have had a POLST. If you have a POLST, it's because you want to limit and prevent paramedics from doing something. That's what it says. Because up at next, it's for serious progressive diseases or when someone is right at the end of their life and they're so fragile they don't want to have their chest crushed. Think little pulse is an okay to do CPR. If you don't want CPR done, the person is likely to die. They do CPR, you get a second chance in the hospital. So Lisa, you did everything right. But I'm glad you didn't have a pulse, because the only way a pulse should be executed is if you don't want to be resuscitated. And there's legitimate reasons for that. Next. So this is what it looks like. And it was updated, and I'll give you the updates. I'm gonna emphasize parts A and B on the next slide. And basically, you can see that that's the whole POLST on the left. Look at the top. Your first choice is an A, or attempt resuscitation, or do not attempt resuscitation in the setting of someone who is unresponsive, pulseless, and not breathing. That's behind the little black thing up there, talking Judy Baxter. It says unresponsive, thank you. Unresponsive, pulseless, not breathing. Do you want resuscitation? Then don't have a pulse. Because the default of paramedics is that you're going to be resuscitated. They are entitled by law to do everything. And everything was done for Lutz, and it was done appropriately. The only time you want to pulse is if you want to check that one on the right. Do not attempt resuscitation. DNR means CPR. And if you don't want that done for whatever your personal reason is, fine. But that's what the paramedics will go with. And then you can then choose, once you choose do not resuscitate, you can choose whether you want just comfort measures only, or pain control and oxygen. And selective treatments means more IV fluids. Full treatments basically is do everything, which kind of negates do not do anything. I'm not sure why that's there, but if you really don't want to be resuscitated, you're going to choose either comfort measures or selective. So it's not for everyone. Keep going, please. That page is just for the practitioner to enter this into the database in Oregon, because that's how the paramedics find out. If someone called paramedics and they said, it's at Luke Kramer's house, or this is the address, they can, by the time the paramedics arrive, they should know whether a pulse is on file. And I always say, I'm glad you didn't have one. Next. So what's the difference between POLST and DNR? Anybody? They're very different. Next. A pulse covers all those things, limiting treatments. You can choose CPR, intubation, ventilators, feeding tubes, antibiotics, like a Chinese restaurant. Check, 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 check. If you don't want that, if you just don't want to have CPR, that is what a DNR means. It means no chest compressions. I wish they didn't call it a DNR. Nurses are confused about this in the hospital. This is the legal definition. All this stuff comes from POLST at OHSU. It's not the Bruce Murray show, I promise. But a DNR is a narrower, legally binding order. Do not do CPR. If you don't get CPR and you're in ventricular fibrillation or major heart attack, you're going to die. So it only addresses CPR. A POLST, and it's intended for hospital use primarily. The POLST is for out of hospital times. Next. What's in advanced directive? Quickly, at least I think most of you know the concepts. I'm not going to belabor that, but I'm going to show you what your forms are. It has two purposes. It allows you to express your preferences for care, and you get to share your values, your beliefs, your goals, your wishes, whatever they may be. There's ample space in this 6-page document, 6 pages. It would take me over an hour. It did take me an hour to go over it and have someone executed in the hospital recently. It took me an hour to explain it. So this is just the highlight. Next. And sorry, go back to one. You name a person to make their healthcare decisions. Really important. Usually it's a spouse or a partner. I've seen weird circumstances where it wasn't. But that person needs to know that they're in there. In fact, they have to sign. So you can't just appoint your wife and, well, I don't really want to discuss these things with her. You need to discuss them. These are the major conditions that are covered. We're all going to die probably of one of these, a terminal condition. You've got cancer and failed therapy, you're going to die, and you're going to go into hospice, and you're close to, and this is where a pulse might be appropriate. Permanently unconscious, fall in a swimming pool, not found for half an hour. Yes, they restarted your heart, but your brain is not going to come back. If you have an advanced progressive illness, COPD, severe heart disease, cancer, a variety of things, or if you're having extraordinarily suffering. There's a section of each part of the advanced directive for that. Next. This is just showing what a terminal condition one, just taking one of those. All those choices, and this is what Lisa was talking about. You could, if I have a terminal condition, it can't be cured, it can't be reversed, I'm going to die within 6 months. These are your options. I want everything done. I want some things done. I want Not much done, just keep me comfortable and be allowed to die naturally. That's the third one. The one that you guys, it's the easy one. Well, I'll just let Lisa do it. I'm gonna make my healthcare representative decide for me. So this is really common. It is better. And the advanced directive gives you plenty of bare space to, what do you mean by this? And what is Lisa supposed to know? Keep going. Progressive illness, I won't belabor that one. But all four of those states, they have these ones. Next slide. So if you have an advanced progressive illness like COPD, I want to try everything possible. No, I want to have just minimal things. No, I don't want anything, or I'll let my wife, Carrie, decide for me. I didn't use this. Okay. So what's the difference between a POLST and an advanced directive? Should know this by now. A POLST is used when end of life is expected soon, and you want to avoid CPR. The advanced directive is to share your values and your goals, not just to check a box, but to write down what you want done and why. What's of value to you? Name a person to serve as your healthcare representative. Make sure they know that, and make sure they know why you've asked them to do that. So that's basically it. Took a couple minutes too much. I'm going to answer questions, and I'm going to stay after for as long. I've got plenty of copies, things too. The POLST, I'll give you one, but it needs to be done with your doctor. Your advanced directive, you can do at home. Go in and discuss it with your doctor or your practitioner. Next. So the other things, like I said, you can also add addendums. What matters to me, my spiritual beliefs, life values, all those things, you can attach that in other documents. Think of how rewarding that could be to someone who's trying to help you through a really rough time. Next. And so what my last one, we aren't cats. And I did this on AI in less than 15 seconds, as I want a cat talking to Grim Reaper saying, what now, what do you want? And so I wrote back, well, that's a little scary. Can you give me one that's a little bit not so aggressively bad looking? And that's what came up. So this took me less than 2 minutes. That's all I have to say. It's a lot, but please know your loved ones need you to say what you want done, or else it can be a really difficult time. Thank you for your time.
Can't take my stuff. Thank you. And thank you again. And I have been in that position, and I can't tell you how important it is. And not only that, but it needs updating. I don't think they always used to put it on the registry, because my husband, when he was in the hospital, he would not be here right now if his had been registered, because it happened so fast, and he was in Medford, and they were put on a ventilator. And I came home and I knew as the advanced director, he didn't want any of the things that they did. So that's why it must not have been registered. So that's, I think, an important point, is make sure that it is registered to be there. I also will say, my mother had a POLST, because she knew she was gonna go. So she had it, and it was just recalled. My sister and I were in the house. The firefighters came running in, and they looked at their refrigerator and they said, "See you later." And it was just like, whoa. That was just like a shock. We did take my mom to the hospital, but they couldn't do anything. And so that was a really interesting thing. Anyway, Sergeant of Arms, I love him with this paddle. Don't use it on me, but I could tell he was about ready to. So here we have our Sergeant of Arms sign on ice hall. Now I'll keep this for you. What's that?
Thank you. Okay, Sergeant of Arms, I got one quick announcement, which ties into Sergeant of Arms. You have all been committed to help County Parks Department in honor of Valentine's Day. We're going to, over the next couple months, organize more people. We're going to be making some wedding arbors, gazebos for the county park system. They have had a lot of requests in the last couple of years for wedding venues, and they need a few things for that. And so you all are going to be part of that with the construction high school interns building arbors. So stay tuned for that. In honor of Valentine's Day, we're going to have a little, hopefully, happy bucks with some stories about how you might have met significant others, or something that has to do with romance or Valentine's for happy bucks. I'll start off with happy buck with Beverly, my wife back there. She made it. She got her teeth cleaned today. I really appreciate that when that happens. Anyway, so Bev and I had gone on like 1 or 2 dates, and maybe 3 or 4. This might have been our 4th date or something like that. And it was in her neighborhood, or we're picking her up, and it's like, hey, I'm doing a job installing some cabinets in a house near her. And I said, hey, why don't you go with me? And I'm gonna put up some cabinet doors real quick for an hour or two, and then we'll go on with whatever we were doing. And this is 35 years ago, maybe longer than that by now. And so I don't remember all the details, but I remember thinking to myself, son, this is going pretty good. I like her. I'm pretty excited with dating her and everything. And we get there and we're doing this thing, and it's, I think it's gonna be quick and easy. And so she's gonna help. She's game for this. And so she gets, in those days, we didn't have, good quality screw guns. It was a drill. And so she was putting in some cabinet doors with the drill, and she's got lovely, long, gorgeous hair. Doing drill, and you know what happens? And it's a powerful drill. They don't have the so it really sucked in. And I bet it hurt pretty good. And I'm like, oh shit. This is going good. I really like her. This might lead somewhere. And oh crap, I blew it. And thankfully it didn't. And what's funny is afterwards we talked about it, some dates later or something, she thought the same thing. It's like, oh shit, I blew it. He's not gonna like me because I can't run the drill or anything and everything. But anyway, it's worked out very well for me, so I didn't run her off. Okay, happy bucks. Any stories, Valentine's? Great.
So I just met Sherry and got a date later. So she just transmission of my car started slipping and I'm freaking out. So I dropped the pan, I'm telling the man the workman can, I managed to eke some miles out of it. And we go to Medford for dining and dancing. And on the way back, they wouldn't even have shift anymore. It's like second gear, ring down the highway, trying to be cool, hey, conversation and everything. And the whole time just praying this car will make it, finish date, drop, get the car back home. Went through out of the driveway, totally waste that transmission on that day.
Nothing like a mechanic to wait to the last second to fix a car. I have lots of uncles that are mechanics and exact same. They always had the cars that were just at the edge of breaking down because they knew they could fix it. Amanda, welcome back. You haven't been around in a while. On vacation somewhere, fun, I hope.
David just went through, he was bleeding out and had been diagnosed with diverticulitis, and then also had to have a gallbladder surgery because his gallbladder was dead. Had died, and so he had to so I have happy bucks that not once, not twice, but 3 times he lived.
Wonderful. Well, David, I'm not gonna kiss you, but I'm glad you're here too. John?
First is kind of serious, and that is the presentation today was about the end of life. It is such an honor to be able to hold someone's hand at their end. Now the happy part. Some of you knew my first wife, Lois, 55 years. She was my life partner. Now I have a laugh partner that we met online on Match.com, started communicating back and forth. I had to go back to the Midwest for a high school reunion, but I asked her before I left, hey, I got a party boat at Klamath Falls. Why don't you come up? She lived in Klamath. Come up and go for a boat ride. Bring a friend. When I'm thinking bring a friend, you'll feel safe. And her attitude was, this guy's up to something. We stopped communicating. And I get back from my high school reunion and I type her a note. We hadn't met face to face. Type her a note saying, hey, we stopped communicating for some reason. Well, what happened? She says, in all caps, you dropped the ball. We have been laughing ever since. He's my laugh.
Penny over there.
Got one for our student leader over here. I was the student government leadership advisor for like 15 years at RCC, and one of my favorite events that my students came up with because we're all, hearts and stars on Valentine's Day, which is wonderful. But I had a student introduce, because a lot of people call it Singles Awareness Day. And my students divided our student center into half and half. They had one side was all black and silver, and you could write on the walls all their kind of disappointments and their difficulties, and the other side was all hearts and flowers and stars. And it was one of our best attended and most well-received events that we ever had, and it was a lot of fun. And I loved the creativity of it and the engagement that we got with students. So congratulations, Lily. Excellent work.
Patty, way there in the back. Ask for partner with her.
This is Jerry. I knew him for about 15 years before we actually started dating. And then time went by, we dated for a couple of years, and he asked me to marry him. So getting to this fun part of the story, we got married at the park at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Oh, 400 people. Whoa. We were going, instead of kissing, we were going to high five. Well, the preacher said you can kiss the bride, so Jerry went high and I went sideways and I slapped him in front of the people. I did. And we're still laughing about that.
And you slapped him ever since, too. It's still doing that, isn't it?
We giggled a lot together, which is wonderful. But there was one young man there who he brought his saxophone, and as soon as I slapped him, he broke into Amazing Grace. Yeah.
I have happy bucks because Lutz is still with us. He obviously has a lot of cat lives left. So
I have happy bucks for 56 years that Larry and I shared. We were married, we were engaged 6 weeks after we met and married within 5 months or so. And 56 fantastic years. But what I wanted to say today is I've been in Rotary for 5 years, I think, coming up. I joined during Rotary and didn't even get to come to a meeting like the first year. But I just know so many wonderful people through Rotary, and I'm just thankful. Yeah.
Did you just say you dated for 5 weeks or 6 weeks? Is that what you just said?
6 weeks when we were engaged.
6 weeks and then you got engaged? Wow, nothing like taking your time and relaxing. Yeah, okay, any others, or we'll get on with the card draw? Can you do that, Mr. Tony? You do it. Very good. And then one other little bit, so Porch Fest, that sign up is going around, please sign up. We gather signatures to get, for those of you that are new, Porch Fest is our club's fundraising event. We raise money and 90% of the funds we raise go to youth activities. And we're gathering signatures, get permission to put the event on. That's the step one in the whole thing. So please sign up and we'll start that process of gathering signatures. Who's our winner? What's our winner? 5? 5 hearts. Hey, got it. Hey, all right.
Not your lucky day, but oh, there she thought she was on a roll. Okay, well, without further ado, I will move forward and say our thought for the day, which I always kind of put in the, okay, give me something, and then my co-pilot helps me out and gives me something first, and I always like to see what co-pilot has to say. So they said, wrinkles are simply the footprints of all the smiles you've worn, the laughter you've shared, and the tears that have shaped your heart. So sweet. But I always like when people say things, and so this is from Albert Einstein. Do not grow old, no matter how long you live. Never cease to stand like curious children before the great mystery into which we were born. Albert Einstein. So have a wonderful week. I'm getting ready to fly on an airplane to see my grandchildren, so I am happy, and I'll put my happy bucks out for that. Have a great week, and I will see you next Thursday.